Well, surprise, surprise. Jonathan Sakadosi has just posted a clip from Israeli TV where staggering images of waste and dishonesty. For the first time since the war began, TV cameras have been in Gaza to the holding area where aid is unloaded on the Gazan side of the Kerem Shalom crossing. What do they find? Almost 60,000 trucks have entered since the war started, and vast amounts remain sitting in this area, undistributed by international aid agencies for many months, much of it now expired. Have a watch.
כמו שאתה רואה כאן בכרם שלום יש מעל 800 משאיות.
הנתון הזה שחושף ראש מנהלת התיאום והקישור לעזה הוא בלתי נתפס. התמונות שתראו עכשיו מדהימות עוד יותר. זאת הפעם הראשונה מאז תחילת המלחמה שמצלמות הטלוויזיה נכנסות לכאן, לצד הפלסטיני של מעבר כרם שלום. תיעוד מבפנים שחושף את גודל השקר של האו"ם ושל ארגוני הסיוע. כמעט 60,000 משאיות סיוע נכנסו לעזה מאז תחילת המלחמה, יותר מ1,300,000 טון של סיוע הומניטרי, יותר מ32 מיליון ליטר של דלק, 52,000 ליטרים של מים, 27,000 טון גז לבישול, אבל הסיפור הגדול מתרחש כאן, 885 משאיות עם מאות טונות של ציוד, שמחכות כאן כבר חודשים ארוכים. הציוד הזה כבר לא יגיע לרצועת עזה, הכל כאן כבר פג תוקף, ותסתכלו כמה שהציוד הזה יכול היה להיות חיוני. חיתולים לילדים שנמצאים כאן כבר יותר משנה, ציוד לחורף שיכול היה לשמש עכשיו את תושבי רצועת עזה, גם נייר טואלט, כל זה הולך להשמדה. אם יש כל כך הרבה סיוע וצריך סיוע ברצועת עזה, אז איפה הבעיה? למה הוא תקוע פה?
הבעיה המרכזית היא ביכולות השינוע וההפצה של הקהילה הבינלאומית. מהצד הישראלי אין מגבלה על כמות הסיוע שאפשר להכניס לרצועת עזה. כמו שאתה רואה, יש מעל 800 משאיות ומחכות לקהילה הבינלאומית שישלחו את המשאיות שלהם ואת הצוותים שלהם ויכניסו אותם לתוך הרצועה.
ויש כאן את כל מה שהפלסטינים צריכים ליום-יום, סוכר, כמויות אדירות שהן כבר אפשר למצוא, כמויות גם אדירות של פסטות, רסק עגבניות, גם קפה, וכאן, שימו לב, זה כבר ציוד החורף, מעילים, סמיכות, כל מה שהם צריכים כדי לעבור את החורף בשלום, אבל כמו שאמרנו, ארגוני הסיוע לא באים כדי להעביר אותם לרצועת עזה. וארגוני הסיוע לא רק שמעכבים את הכנסת הסיוע, הם גם משקרים ומאשימים את ישראל. הנה, תקשיבו לזה.
WFP has been able to get 2 trucks in. That's all. 2 trucks in the month of November.
מנכ"לית ארגון המזון העולמי אמרה שבחודש נובמבר הכנסנו רק 2 משאיות לרצועת עזה כי ישראל לא מאפשרת לנו. שקר?
שקר, ומי שאמר את זה לא מבין את המציאות בשטח מספיק טוב. ארגון המזון העולמי בחודש האחרון הכניס מעל 800 משאיות לתוך הרצועה.
ושימו לב מה המשמעות לזה שהציוד לא מגיע לרצועת עזה. הארגז הזה שיש בו טונה, בשר, אורז, שמן, יכול להאכיל משפחה שלמה בת 10 נפשות במשך שבוע שלם. הארגזים האלה, גם הם, תקועים כאן כבר חודשים ארוכים. והאתגר של מתאם פעולות הממשלה בשטחים לא נגמר כאן. למרות ההתנהלות של ארגוני הסיוע, מדי יום נכנסות לרצועת עזה יותר מ-200 משאיות, ובצד השני ממתינים המחבלים של חמאס, שמנסים להשתלט על הסיוע, סיוע הומניטרי, שחלקו נופל לידיו ומאפשר את המשך הישרדותו. אחת הבעיות המרכזיות זה ההשתלטות של חמאס ברצועת עזה על המשאיות. איך מתמודדים עם זה?
אנחנו עזרנו לקהילה הבינלאומית בלנסות לפתור את הבעיה הזאת במספר דרכים. חלק מהדרכים זה לפתוח נתיבים חדשים. זה לבוא עם הצעות על איך מכניסים את הסחורה ממקומות נוספים, כמו מעברים חדשים שנפתחו. וחלק אחר, איפה שיש אנשי חמאס, חמושים, שמנסים להשתלט על הסיוע, אנחנו גם נפגע בהם כמו שעשינו בעבר.
כן אפשר להגיד שיש אבל ירידה בהשתלטות של חמאס על הסיוע, שאתם מצליחים לייצר סוג של מציאות אחרת?
אנחנו רואים באופן ודאי ירידה במספר הפעמים שמנסים להשתלט על הסיוע בדרך למחסנים. סיוע שמגיע למחסנים, והוא רובו המוחלט, הוא מחולק על ידי הקהילה הבינלאומית, אנחנו מקבלים מהם גם עדכונים על העניין הזה.
המשימה הזאת עליה אמון מהיום הראשון של המלחמה מתאם פעולות הממשלה בשטחים האלוף רסן עליאן היא לא פשוטה, במובן מסוים גם מתסכלת, כשחלק גדול מהסיוע מגיע לידיים של האויב, אבל כולם כאן מבינים שהיא קריטית להמשך שעון החול של המלחמה.
Well. Imagine my shock that once again we're being lied to by the international community. I'm just so shocked that the media misreport it, what's actually happening on the ground, that they say Israel somehow isn't delivering enough. And it turns out that there are tons and tons of aid that's either stolen or just simply not distributed, being left to expire. The first thing I'd say, by the way, is do you understand how mad it is that Israel's even expected to be providing aid while conducting an existential war like this? Can you imagine providing aid for the enemy side? They know it's going to get into the hands of Hamas, and even if not, when you're fighting a war of survival against an enemy people, we should be clear, this is a war against... it's like when we fought against Nazi Germany. We're fighting against Germany. This is a war Israel against Gaza. Because... yes, of course, there are going to be people who are innocent and caught up in this. But this is an elected government that's gone to war. That's the way we discuss any war. You know, we talk about Russia, Ukraine. We don't mean all the Russian people. But it's Russia versus Ukraine, ultimately. That's the state actors. And let's also not forget that actually, according to even recent polling, the vast majority of Gazans support Hamas's actions on October 7th. So, you know, this notion that Israel should be supplying aid to an enemy that's holding their people hostage and that they need to defeat as quickly as possible is, to me, mad. It's the responsibility of the electors, the government that's elected in Gaza to be concerned for their own people. What about the agency of the Palestinians themselves, the Gazans themselves, who can rise up and say enough's enough? Yes, I know it's very difficult. Yes, I know it's very risky. But taking away all the agency from their side is, to me, part of the problem. Taking away agency, in some ways, summarizes the whole conflict. Because everything that they lament, from most recently we're seeing here with them saying there's a lack of aid, we're not getting enough aid in, to all the way back to the beginning of Israel's re-establishment in 1948, where they lament the displacement of the Arabs. All these things, from occupation to security checkpoints to blockades, which are actually censoring for weapons, they're all self-inflicted wounds. We see here the lack of aid. If they say not enough aid's being distributed, there's plenty. It's not being distributed or it's being stolen. Self-inflicted. The displacement that they talk about in 1948, which they say is Israel's original sin, it occurred, it would never have happened had they not decided to launch a war against the Jewish state. There could have been two states, an Arab state and a Jewish state. People think it's like the Jews came there and kicked everyone out, and then of course they're going to be upset. That's not what happened. There were Jews living there legally, through legal means, who had an ancient historical connection to the land. There are Arabs living there who, yes, many of them have lived there for many, many centuries since the Islamic conquest in the 7th century. Fine. Many also, by the way, started returning and migrating there as Jews started returning to the land in the 19th century. But nevertheless, fine. So the UN said, we'll split it in two. The Jews said yes, the Arabs said no. And in their war of trying to get rid of the Jewish state, which was their concern, not about having their own state, because they'd be happy to be part of the Ottoman Empire or another Islamic country. Not about freeing Palestine. It's about getting rid of the Jewish state. And in that war, to try and get rid of the Jews, they lost, and many of them were displaced, mainly because the Arab army said, leave, get out, and then once we've wiped out the Jewish state and thrown the Jews into the sea, you can come back. And then they cry because they lost, and they say, oh, we got displaced, we lost our territory. Well, it's self-inflicted. The fact that Israel has to censor what goes in and out of Gaza, if they were peaceful and were happy to live alongside Jews, you wouldn't have any of that. And they say, well, of course Hamas are going to resist because, you know, Israel blockades that you're getting the chicken and the egg the wrong way around. Israel always extends its hand in peace. The enemies of Israel provoke Israel, try to attack Israel, and then Israel has to respond and do things to protect herself. So it's so important to understand that it's self-inflicted, these things they lament, just like we're seeing here with aid. And even the very notion of, the Palestinian underdog, them being the underdog people, even that is a not just self-inflicted, but self-concocted notion to try and garner world sympathy. They are part of a broader Arab world. They consider themselves Arabs, part of the Arab world. They don't care about having a Palestinian state. There've never been Palestinian leaders that have really been interested in that. They just simply care about getting rid of the Jewish state. They'd be happy to be part of other Arab countries. The proof of which being that if you look at what a map would have looked like in 1948, God forbid, had the Arabs won, then look, where would the Palestine be? No Palestine there. They would just all have had different chunks of the land. Same as between 1948 to 1967. Egypt controlled Gaza, Jordan controlled Judea and Samaria. There was no call for a free Palestine then. So they consider themselves part of the Arab world, which is 100 times the size of Israel, and therefore they are not underdogs. They're simply playing this role and creating all these self-inflicted wounds in order to try and undermine Israel on the world stage and make it look like Israel's the aggressor. It's sick. It's utterly, utterly sick. But you know what? For those who have their eyes open, the truth is becoming clearer and clearer, and goodness me, we're going to keep sharing it for those who are open to hearing it. If you appreciate what we're doing at JTV to share the truth about Israel and create positive associations with the Jewish people and Judaism, I want to tell you something. We are reaching millions every single week across the world, non-Jews and Jews alike. And we have a plan to grow the channel, to accelerate our growth with more presenters and documentaries. And we've launched a campaign in order to make this possible. Have a watch. The world is full of lies.
That Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu bear criminal responsibility.
The truth is under attack.
Which river, which sea? So you don't know the
From the media to the UN to celebrities, lies reign supreme. But the thing about the truth is that no matter how dark a room of lies, if you light one candle of truth, it can light up the whole room. That's why I created JTV, the global Jewish YouTube channel. We have been lighting the flame of truth on social media. We believe that the key to defeating anti-Semitism isn't just in fighting the hate, but it's about creating pro-Semitism and sharing the truth. There's nothing inevitable about anti-Semitism. We just need to tell our story with confidence, pride, and love. We believe that telling the truth, exposing the lies, and sharing the wisdom and beauty found within the Jewish story and the ideas of Judaism can transform the world. We're reaching millions of people all around the world from all backgrounds and perspectives. Every day we are transforming people's views about Israel, Jews, and Judaism. How do we know? Because they tell us. But there's so much more we can do. It's time for us to build a team to accelerate our growth and produce way more content that can appeal to even more people. We want to hire more presenters, start doing documentary series, and way more. And if we do that, JTV will start competing with the other big media players who peddle anti-Israel narratives. And that's where you come in. I'm asking you to please partner with us on our journey to spread the truth to the entire world by donating whatever you can to this fundraiser. Together, we will harness the power of social media to shine the light of truth to the whole world. Thank you so much for your support. So we are nearly at our target, and I would be so thrilled if you were able to help us meet it, to partner with us in spreading and sharing the truth to a world that really needs it. You'll partner with us in expanding this channel so we can be even bigger than the voices of hate and lies out there. So please do click on the link in the video description. We're just going to extend the campaign just by a little bit to help us meet our goal and really accelerate our growth. Please be one of those people that doesn't just watch and share and like, but actually chips in to help us accelerate the impact that we are having. We're reaching millions each week. But why don't we reach billions? So much more that we can do together. Thank you so much. Please click on that link in the video description and let's grow this channel together. Thank you.